The night my daughter asked me to lie to her husband, I thought she was protecting herself from an embarrassing mistake. I was wrong. She was protecting a story she had built around me. And when her husband looked across my kitchen table and asked, "Mr. Parker, why did Lauren tell me you abandoned her when she was 16? I realized my daughter hadn't just hidden the truth. She had rewritten my entire life. My name is Thomas Parker. I'm 58 years old. And until that night, I believed the hardest thing a father could hear was that his child was disappointed in him. I learned there was something worse. Finding out your child had turned your love into a lie. Lauren was my only daughter. Her mother, Rebecca, left when Lauren was 16. It happened quickly. One week we were discussing summer plans, and the next, Rebecca had packed 2 suitcases and moved across the country. Lauren was devastated. So was I, but I stayed. I worked longer hours, learned how to cook the meals Lauren liked, attended every school event I could, and tried to make our house feel normal. Years passed. Lauren graduated, built a career, and eventually married a man named Evan Mitchell. I liked Evan immediately. He was respectful, hardworking, and seemed genuinely devoted to my daughter. But there was something strange about the way he treated me. He was polite but distant. I assumed we simply needed time. Then, one Friday afternoon, Lauren came to my house alone. "Dad, I need a favor." I smiled. "What kind?" She hesitated. "If Evan ever asks about when Mom left, please don't explain everything." My smile disappeared. Why would he ask? Lauren looked toward the window. I told him a different version. That was the first moment I felt something was wrong. "What version?" Lauren crossed her arms. "I told Evan that after Mom left, you disappeared for a while too." Disappeared. She nodded slowly. Just emotionally. I made it sound worse than it was. I couldn't understand what I was hearing. "Lauren, I didn't disappear. I was there every day." "I know. I drove you to school." "I know. I worked overtime to keep this house." "Dad, please." Her voice sharpened. "It was years ago. It doesn't matter anymore. But it mattered to me. Why would you tell him that?" She didn't answer. Instead, she picked up her purse. "I just need you not to contradict me." Then she walked out. For the first time in my life, I watched my daughter leave my house and wondered who she had become. 3 weeks later, Lauren and Evan came over for dinner. Lauren acted completely normal. Evan didn't. He seemed uncomfortable. Halfway through the meal, he finally put down his fork. "Thomas, can I ask you something?" Lauren immediately looked at him. "Evan, don't." He ignored her. "Why did you leave Lauren when she was 16? My chest tightened. "I didn't." Silence. Evan looked confused. Lauren went pale. I continued. "Her mother left. I stayed." Evan turned toward my daughter. "Lauren told me you left her with relatives for almost a year." I couldn't speak for a moment. That wasn't an exaggeration. That was a complete fabrication. "Lauren lived in this house with me until she went to college." Evan slowly looked back at her. "Then why did you tell me otherwise?" Lauren stood. "You wouldn't understand." "Then explain it." And she finally did. Years earlier, when Lauren first met Evan, she had told him about her difficult teenage years. But she wanted his sympathy, so she changed the story. Her mother hadn't simply left. According to Lauren's version, both of her parents had failed her. She described herself as a teenager who had practically raised herself. The story made Evan admire her strength. Then his family heard it. Then their friends. Then co-workers. Every time Lauren told it, the lie became bigger. And I became worse. The father who had stayed up waiting when she came home late became the father who wasn't there. The man who worked extra shifts for her college expenses became the man who supposedly refused to support her. My sacrifices hadn't been forgotten. They had been reassigned. Lauren had built part of her identity around surviving a father who had never existed. I looked at her and asked one question. "Did you ever defend me when people criticized me?" Her eyes filled with shame. She couldn't answer. That silence told me everything. Evan apologized to me before leaving. But I wasn't angry with him. He had believed his wife. A husband should be able to do that. Lauren stayed behind.
Dad, I'm sorry.
I looked at the family photographs hanging on my wall. Her graduation, her first apartment, her birthdays. I was standing beside her in almost every picture. Proof that I had been there. You could have told people I was strict, I said. You could have said we argued. You could have told them I made mistakes. Because I did. She started crying quietly. But you told them I abandoned you. I didn't know how to fix it once people believed me. That sentence hurt almost as much as the lie. You had years to fix it. I was scared of what Evan would think. I nodded. So you protected his opinion of you by destroying his opinion of me. She lowered her head. And for once, Lauren had nothing to say. I didn't cut my daughter out of my life. But something changed that night. Trust doesn't always disappear with a dramatic goodbye. Sometimes it simply becomes smaller, more careful. Lauren eventually told Evan the complete truth. Then she called several relatives and friends and corrected the stories she had told about me. Some apologized. Others were embarrassed. But I didn't need everyone to believe I had been a perfect father. I wasn't. I only wanted the truth. Months later, Lauren came to see me. She sat at the same kitchen table where everything had fallen apart. I spent years telling people how strong I was because I survived being alone, she said. Then she looked at me. But I wasn't alone. I stayed quiet. You were there. Yes, I said softly. I was. She reached across the table. I didn't pull away, but I didn't pretend everything was repaired either. Because forgiveness can happen before trust returns. And sometimes trust has to be rebuilt one honest conversation at a time. I used to think betrayal came from people who didn't love you. Now I know that's not always true. Sometimes the person who betrays you loves you deeply. They simply love protecting themselves more. My daughter didn't steal money from me. She didn't take my house. She took something much harder to replace. The truth about the kind of father I had been. And the lesson I learned was simple. Never build your reputation by destroying someone else's, especially the person who spent years standing beside you when nobody else did.